What's up, you guys? Joe Dobby here. I am now a Deck Out Gaming affiliate. Use Joe Dobbs Deck Out at checkout. Deck Out Gaming has tons of singles for Pokemon, Dragon Ball Super, and Digimon TCG, as well as One Piece. They now buy list as well, so don't hesitate to reach out, and they got your back. Really high customer service ratings. Thank you, guys. And yeah, let's get to the video. What's up, you guys? Joe Dobby here with another video for you, and this is a very special video. I have the Black Mane Master, Alphamon Master, deck builder, and top tier player, Lichi from DXN. How you doing, Lichi?
Hey, Josh. I'm doing good. Thanks for the amazing intro, by the way.
Hey, man, it's credit where credit's due, but I'm so thankful and kind of glad that you reached out to me with this profile, because I love purple and I'm always looking for ways to kind of explore more purple decks. And when you were like, Josh, I have something special for Darkness Bagramon and I want to show the world, I'm just like, bro, I'm so glad you reached out. Yeah. So first, yeah, so thank you. But if you want to introduce yourself real quick, that would be cool.
Oh, so hey there. Yeah, I guess Lichi from my name is James, but most people call me Lichi on the card game.
Yeah.
And yep, I just have like a pretty cool deck for you guys. Darkness Bagramon. At first, when I saw it, the card was like it didn't make sense, but then after a couple of brainstorming and ideas, I have a pretty cool list for you guys, and yeah, hopefully you guys will enjoy. Make this secret rare that you pulled playable, hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Sweet. So I guess the best way to go about this is you're totally fine to go through the entire deck, and you can kind of just go over what the cards do. And then afterwards, we'll have a part 2 where you can basically describe some of your favorite combos. And then we'll close with 3 tips when playing this deck. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Sure.
Take us away. And then I might butt in every now and then to ask you questions. Feel free to answer them as you see fit. But yeah, take it away, Lichi.
Yeah, so just quickly for ratio numbers, 4 copies of Monimon, just the new Digitama that the set has, and it's amazing support for Bagra Army right now. So we start with that one. Then it's 4 copies of Soundbirdmon. Best draw card for the deck, and it combos well with the Tamer you're playing. Yeah, I'll just go brush through this real fast.
Of course.
Now, 4 copies of Psychmon and 4 copies of Gumdramon. So these are the main rookies I kind of want to play, because they draw a lot. More again later for more combos for them. And 1 copy of Chuchumon. Why? It's just because it's a Bagra Army in its name, and just the inheritable is what you're looking for.
Got it.
So you're running actually just 13 rookies.
Yeah.
But now for the level 4s, it's gonna be 4 pieces of Troopmon, your Bagra staples, 4 copies of Mad Leomon, and 4 copies of Mad Leomon Armed Mode. So 12 Bagra staples over here.
Yeah.
They have different opponent's turn effect, so it's actually really flexible on how you play. When thinking about so if you just have like if you have a pretty good knowledge on other decks,
Yeah.
You could utilize these cards to like manipulate your opponent's turn.
Yeah, and it's also like an
And
added level of kind of like it's an added level of decision making for your opponent too, because then you can just adjust and play whatever type of control you want based on the type of deck that they have, right? So, or the
yeah,
situation even. So I think that's a very nice like flex, the level fours.
yeah. And the last, so it's a total of 16 level 4s, but
Mm-hmm.
this one's not really, I guess you could evo this one, but you're on this deck, you're not really evoing that much.
Yes.
But 4 copies of Damimon, so the new Damimon from the new set.
Yeah.
This really combos well because sometimes you don't have your tamer in hand,
Mm-hmm.
and you will be playing. The only tamers we're playing are getting played for free by Damimon, and so for later, watch out for his inheritable that gives save, and Digimon with save blocker. Having 4 copies of this is really good.
Yeah.
And also one more thing, since this Digimon could evo with save in its text, it could actually just evo on top of Soundbirdmon if you really wanted to.
Yeah, it
So,
can evo over any level 3 at this point, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have a
'cause-
question for you.
Mhm.
So the new Chuchumon also gives blocker inheritable, but I'm guessing it's not Bagra Army. Is that why it's not in the deck?
Yeah, I don't
Ah,
think it's not Bagra Army either.
yeah.
But the I guess I do the one extra Chuchumon being played
Yeah.
is because you want to trigger the opponent's turn, gain 1 memory.
I see.
And you
I
want
see.
as much, yeah, you want as much inheritables of this one
Yeah,
as possible.
I
And
see.
this is the one extra I could fit in. I wish I could fit in like a 14th rookie.
I see. Okay,
But-
that makes sense.
Yeah,
Nice.
deck space limitations.
Oh yeah.
And so that's it for level 4s. There's 16 copies of level 4s, and for level 5s, there's only 6 level 5s. 2 copies of Omni Shoutmon, and 4 copies of Astamon.
Perfect.
And I will explain a little bit later why these ratios are. And you could also ask, like, Lichi, you play Damimon, why not play Shoutmon King version, the new one
Mhm.
from BT12,
Mhm.
to play your tamer from hand for free? Because on this deck, if you have your tamer on hand, you would rather play it from hand straight up than like doing a Digicross and just burning 3 cards out of nowhere for to play your tamer for free. So, but yeah, there's only the 6 level 5s. Then for
The fun part.
yeah, the fun part, the big boys here.
Yeah.
I'll just lump them all together because we are playing 3 Quartzmon.
Yep.
He's level 7, and for your the number 1 in the deck, Bagramon and Darkness Bagramon
Mhm.
is being played on this deck. So yeah, I will go into detail on this guy, why I think this guy is really good as a card.
For
Like,
sure.
there's some insane plays you could really do with Darkness Bagramon.
I'm so
And
excited.
to end to end the list, it's 4 Taikis and 4 Yu Amano from BT10.
Mhm.
So the new Taiki from BT12 is amazing draw engine,
Mhm.
but Yu Amano is what you need on this deck. And yeah, that's it. That's the whole list.
Sweet. So before
And-
we get into the combos, would you mind if I ask you a few questions regarding the list?
Sure.
Perfect. So just for the viewers, so Damimon allows you to play either Taiki and Yu, right? In general, though, do you find that you're free playing Taiki and hard playing Yu, or you're kind of doing whatever you can get at the moment?
So on this deck, especially with mulligans around right now,
Yeah.
what you want is to find a tamer buy one. You're playing 8 tamers on this deck.
Yeah.
Um, a really good opener, the best opener,
Yeah.
is actually just Soundbirdmon and you in
Got
your
it.
opening hand.
Yeah.
And if you open with this one, your next few turns would be so powerful.
Yeah.
Like the draw will just be there. But a turn that's not too bad for opening turn would
Yeah.
be having Taiki Kudo on the
Mhm.
opening and just dropping him for 3, and hopefully you have a rookie to Evo on top also.
Understood.
Because quick explanation with especially with Taiki and you
Yep.
and how they synergize together. Taiki tucks something under with save in its text and you draw 1 card.
Yeah.
That's its main effect. Then you could tap Taiki to reduce Evo
Mhm.
and tuck under a Digimon, one Digimon under of your tamers
Mhm.
to reduce the Evo cost.
Yeah.
But that's not what you want on this deck. On this deck, you and Taiki synergizes together because whatever Taiki saved under himself from the previous turns, you could trigger his effect where once per turn when you would play a level 4 or higher Digimon card with background in its traits, by placing 3 purple Digimon from under your tamers in the played Digimon, reduced cost by 2 for each.
Exactly.
So you could actually use whatever Taiki has under
Mhm.
to reduce your on plays. So you're mostly playing your Digimon from hand, Digi crossing, and you force crossing a Digimon.
And your rookies and most of your, well, the new save support, when they die, they actually get to tuck from trash, so you can tuck it under you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's where you get the memory gain and the draw as well.
Yeah, so there's a lot of opponents turn memory gain also
Yeah.
on this deck.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So next question. Did you consider adding Crimson Blaze because of the Taiki support, just for like a meta call, especially with decks like Beelzemon being able to free play Impmon? Sometimes you get to punish them with Crimson Blaze, and ultimately some other cards too, like the Hunter's Mirror kind of thing. What are your thoughts on adding that? And just for viewers, because I know a lot of the North American player base likes security bombs. So did you consider adding that, or did you focus on the body first before teching in some removal or anything like that?
So I did focus on the latter first.
Yes.
Like this is like right now like a perfect ratio.
Got you.
I feel
Yeah.
for a baseline body for Darkness Bagramon.
Yeah.
Like tech cards for sure is amazing on this, but deck space is limited
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah.
And when I explained some of the combos later,
Yeah.
your effects are tied into your Digimon on this deck.
Got
So
it.
the deck could do a bunch of stuff, but they are tied in all with your Digimon.
Yeah. So
And-
your control is on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
And also considering matchups also, like tech cards I would really consider, like it feel free for anyone playing this deck to tech in some cards that they feel like are prevalent under matchups.
Mm-hmm.
But the deck also has like a weakness to specifically tamer removal,
I see.
because you are tamer reliant.
Yeah.
But I would say like there is room for a couple tech cards, but at the same time this is like right now the golden ratio where it's it's hard to break with this deck right now.
You're good. I would say like the best scenario would be for players to test the deck first after you've explained the combos and when we've concluded with the video. Build it, test it, and then see how you feel. But this golden ratio should be kind of like the standard for anyone building it for the first time. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna dive into the combos now, and I'll probably have more questions. But yeah, feel free. I think for time's sake, I don't know how many potential micro interactions there are that could generate advantage. But if you could go over the main win condition and maybe 3 to 4 key combos or your favorite combos, that would be appreciated, Lichi.
Sure. All right, so I'll start it off right now. So first thing first for this deck draws a lot of cards.
Yes.
Like a lot. Monimon, on deletion, draw 1. If your Digimon has saved, and all of your Digimon on this deck have saved.
Yeah.
So, mainly Soundbird into you as a turn 1 play. This will net you, because Soundbird swings, tucks in something under you. He draws by his effect. You gains 1 memory, draw 1 card. And Monimon on deletion, draw 1, and he saves himself under you. So your sources under you is all set already. And afterwards you just drew like 3 cards. So an opener like that would be amazing. But if not, like Psychmon and Gumdramon inherits also draws you a card. So sometimes you just want to Evo on top of them, especially if you let's say have like an opener with let's say a Psychmon and a Taiki. You Evo the Psychmon, drop the Taiki. Taiki tucks something in. You promote the Psychmon. You tap Taiki to Evo the Psychmon for 1. And maybe the tucked in card was a Gumdramon, you tuck this in. And you swing, you draw 1, 2, if it dies, draw 3. And the Taiki effect that tucks in during the start of main phase draws another card.
Yeah. Wow.
So this deck loves to draw.
Yeah.
Especially, that's why I mentioned earlier, like when you do a mulligan, you would want to look for the tamers specifically. You don't mind a Taiki standalone tamer, you drop for turn 1. But if you find this too, you don't mulligan this. This is your perfect opening hand. Like a draw tree on your turn 2 play is pretty strong, I would say. Now the main powerful combo, I'll just jump right into the most powerful combo on the deck. The deck for sure is a opponent's turn memory manipulation.
Yeah.
So you once you have use out, you states his effect is all turns. Whenever a purple Digimon card is placed under you, you gain 1 memory, draw 1 card. So if any card that dies during your opponent's turn gets tucked under you, you gain a memory, draw a card. So that's like a pseudo ice wall or pseudo hammer spark.
Yes.
So that's amazing with the Bagra trio right here. You could choose with the Bagra trio depending on your matchup. Mad Leo Armed Mode, Mad Leomon, and Troopmon being crossed for like really cheap. Either it's a 2 cost, 3 cost. I mean, they could cross from hand also. If it dies, it gets tucked under you. You gain 1 memory, draw 1 card. That's essentially basic combo of a Bagra army deck. But you could extend it even more, because these new cards, they get to cross and reduce their cost, making them a 2 cost Digicross.
Yeah.
Gumdramon could essentially Digicross with a Damemon, making it blocker, and does his secondary effect by placing 1 Digimon with save under your tamer. Let's say you place a Psychmon under you, you gain some memory, draw 1 card, and this becomes a 1 cost blocker. And if it blocks, it saves, it dies, opponent's turn, tuck under you, gain another memory, draw 1 card. And you just memory manipulated your opponent during his turn. or just 2 costs with Psychmon here. Pick up a card from under one of your tamer and 2 cost blocker right there. So the blocking effects is pretty good. That's why I wanted 4 copies of Damimon here.
Yeah.
And just there's so many ways to manipulate during your opponent's turn that sometimes I would not even want to swing when I have their inheritables under.
Yeah.
Like let's say a Mad Leomon armed mode, I would not waste inheritables because if your opponent tries to add cards from his hand, you could trash a source, gain 1 memory, draw 2 cards. If the inheritable lets you gain the memory.
Yeah, because if you can read that they can't remove the Digimon, why remove it yourself, right? Because then you can just manipulate the memory gains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
understood.
Then you should ask Lichi, how do you start an offense if that's the case?
Yes.
Start from the chip. So the chip you do from the on deletion of the Monimon. Well, so this is the answer right here. The 3 copies of Quartzmon. The Quartzmon that stalls the game for you, because sooner or later the king will come down and rain some destruction. So Quartzmon here does his effect where it suspends all other Digimon and Tamers, and they can't unsuspend. So like Quartzmon, really powerful play. Then you should ask, how do you play Quartzmon then? Well, here is the main combo for Quartzmon. Let's say you have Yu Amano with at least like 2 sources under. Then let's say this source. Yu Amano, you would, let's say, play a Mad Leomon armed mode, crossing with Mad Leomon, force crossing with Yu Amano, making this Mad Leomon armed mode free being played.
Okay.
And then you could evo it into Astamon. If Astamon, when Digivolving, ever has 4 or more sources under it, it could warp evo directly into a Quartzmon for 6 cost. That play right there is a 9 cost play.
Yeah.
But that's outside of Quartzmon suspending everything and gaining you memory.
Yeah.
So usually this play would be like a 6 cost play, because you'd gain like 2 memory, at least 3 memory maybe. 4 is like perfect, but that's like a 6 cost. Suspend everything before. If you were part of the OGs, you'd play Pinocchiomon, Puppetmon.
Yeah, Puppetmon.
For 11 cost.
Yeah.
You play Puppetmon for 11 cost. Now you have this 15k body that swings, draws you a card with Astamon. Hope you have a Psychmon, it draws you another, and it's only like a 6-7 cost. So that's a 6-7 cost on play. Suspend everything and stall the game.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And,
it sounds amazing.
And that's outside also if you have a Taiki. Because when you evo with the Astamon, you could actually just tap the Taiki and tuck something under, and Astamon becomes a 2 cost evo, maybe a 1 cost evo if you have double Taiki, and do the Quartzmon play. So you could just Quartzmon out of nowhere on this deck. Especially this deck draws a whole bunch of cards and tucks under the Tamers fast. This is actually, I think, is the perfect way to play Quartzmon on this base set of cards. Is the play is too powerful to ignore.
Yeah.
And one thing also, whenever you have Taiki and Quartzmon early, like Quartzmon most of the time is a dead card in your hand, you could just tuck it under Taiki to draw a card, because whenever Astamon evos and does his effect,
you can get it from
Quartzmon.
Yeah,
you can get it from one of your Tamers and just like, alright, that draw one from the Quartzmon, replace himself with another card,
Yeah.
Just went into Quartzmon again. So you don't even mind having Quartzmon in your hand if
Yeah.
you have Taiki.
I can see a situation there too where like if you desperately need just one memory to pull this play off and put your opponent at a certain amount of memory, you can tuck Quartzmon. Can you tuck Quartzmon under you or no?
No,
No, it's only Bagra
So
Army, right?
U is only purple.
Purple. Oh, okay,
Purple
thank
to
you.
gain a
Yeah,
memory.
good thing for clarifying. I almost tried to go
Yeah.
crazy there.
But yeah, like even at one memory, let's say you're put to one, as long as the level 4 gets played for free,
Yeah.
and it's not hard to do on this deck. As long as this is played for free, you'd have 4 sources under. It's maintains at one memory, then evoed into Astamon. Because it's a when digivolving effect, it does. Even if the memory gauge goes to opponent's turn, you can still evo into the Quartzmon.
Yeah, very
And
good.
yeah, you do your stall right there.
I think that's
And
so
then-
nuts that you can digivolve from like for 9 from like a level 5 or level 4 with save in his traits. Level 5, right?
No, it's evo for 6.
Oh, I see. Nice.
Because it's the when digivolving effect of Astamon.
Yeah.
If you have 4 or more, it
Yeah.
gets reduced by 3.
Yeah.
So it gets to warp into Quartzmon for 6.
Yes,
the
yes,
normal
yes.
evo cost.
And then
So,
you get a
yeah,
ton of
it's
memory
actually-
back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually pretty insane. Like this play will always come up during like the mid game for you.
Yeah.
And with the stalling tactics of Barger Army, it just it bothers your opponent with the Barger Army tactics enough that when the Quartzmon play is live, most of the time they won't have that much in board yet.
Mm-hmm.
And when Quartzmon is out, they need to deal with the Quartzmon because every time Quartzmon swings, if there's 5 total suspended guys out,
Yeah.
Quartzmon will trash a security. So he is like immediately a threat, and he needs to be dealt with once he's out.
Yeah. So the earlier you have him out, it's just stocks for the rest of the game.
So yeah.
Mhm.
And he is essentially your main offense for the deck. But then he paves the way for your for the main man himself to get into play. So mainly Darkness Bagramon. How the best way I could explain this card is Gaia Force Ice Wall on legs. That is the best way I could explain this card.
An attacking Gaia Force Ice Wall.
Yep. Yep. This card is crazy.
Yeah.
And you would like at first if you saw Darkness Bagramon, you would ask yourself, how would I ever play this card? Well, here is the answer. So, like the main setup, like the most favored setup for Darkness Bagramon would just be W. Like once 2 U's are out, and there's like six total purple Digimon under all your tamers. It doesn't even matter if it's under Taiki.
Yeah.
So if there's 3 under here and 3 under here, let's say Darkness Bagramon gets when you play Darkness Bagramon, you horse cross with you 3 and 3. So this is a 12 cost reduction. So this is a 4 cost. 4 cost on play delete one of your opponent's Digimon.
Yeah.
Then the secondary on play effect would be could tuck up to 5 Bagra Army in its traits from your trash under Darkness Bagramon. The secondary one doesn't come up that much. You could just take as much Bagra Army in its traits under. But then the Ice Wall effect comes in. Like you don't mind passing turn when you play Darkness Bagramon because he doesn't have rush and he can't swing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he is most of the time your ender. When he comes into play, it just meant your opponent can't do anything anymore. It's game over from
They're
there.
locked. Yeah.
Because they're locked because his opponent's turn effect is whenever your opponent tries to evolve or swing, you could take 5 sources out, bounce all your all tamers on board back to everyone's hand, and if you have 5 sources that gains you memory, you gain 5 memory.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about that one is it's not even once per turn.
Yeah.
You could do it twice
Wow.
if your opponent somehow has 5 memory to deal to work with on his turn.
Yeah.
So that's the average scenario for Darkness Bagramon, but I am taking in 2 of the BT11 Bagramon.
Mm-hmm.
So if you actually have BT11 Bagramon crossing with Darkness Bagramon, this play is a 1 cost.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Digicross reduces by 3,
Mm-hmm.
so 13 play cost, but now you get to reduce with the 6 sources under.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a 1 cost, delete something, so that's a Gaia Force effect. Then opponent's turn. If he ever tries to swing, evoke, let me take back my turn, and we can just end the game afterwards. So that's Darkness Bagramon right there. It's he is your main ender for
Yes.
your deck. Like once you do the Quartzmon play and stall for a bit, the Darkness Bagramon would be live during the let's say the ongoing turn, because how the deck easily puts sources under the tamers, because Taiki does it during the start of the main phase. So every single turn that passes, Taiki keeps tucking in a purple Digimon under, so you could use it with you. And let's say Quartzmon is out, you could do like the blocker rookies out.
Yeah.
To when they die, they get tucked under you again. So having the sources coming back to after doing the Quartzmon play, where Quartzmon just needs 3, but Darkness Bagramon realistically wants 6 purple sources from you. But I mean, you could also essentially do it with 1 U only, but 1 U and a Bagramon. So that's still a 9 cost reduction. So it would be a 7 on play, delete something, and
Yes.
still have the ice wall effect to be live.
Nice.
But that's one of the main bread and butter for this deck. Quartzmon and Darkness Bagramon working side by side.
Yeah, I really like that because the Quartzmon does offer like a huge stall tactic, and if they don't remove it, then you're just slowly setting up for Darkness Bagra. In addition to that, if they do remove it, they're just giving you potentially a free turn, right? Because you kind of have to expend memory to remove Quartzmon. And if they do, you're going to expend even, you have so much opponent's turn memory gain effects that it almost comes off as super inefficient to spend like memory on to delete him. So very good stuff there. I guess to close the video for today, what are 3 tips on how to kind of pilot the deck? 3 things to consider in the current meta. Like, I guess the 3 matchups would be Beelzemon, Hunters, and what's a third one, Lichi? Give me a third one.
Machine Dramon.
Sure, why not? Let's do it.
So those 3 matchups, up against Hunters, this deck destroys Hunters because
we love that.
what you're looking for up against Hunters is to play the Bagra, the Bagra boys.
Yeah.
Here, Mad Leo, Troopmon, and Mad Leo Armed Mode. and hunters loves to do their on play or play their tamers for free.
Yeah.
And you try to punish them by gaining memory and manipulating them during the opponent's turns. So I would say Darkness Bagramon has a lot, or Bagra Army has a favored matchup against hunters.
So I guess
Belzemon is a
sorry if I may. I guess the takeaway for players when they're facing hunters is try to utilize your Bagra Army opponent's turn effects, particularly the Leomons as well, right? Because there's a lot of start of your turn effects that tuck to draw, or there's a lot of search and pick up. So every time they add cards to their hand, you're able to just they don't get to tuck next turn because they have to trash their sources, like an equal amount of draw, right? You're limiting what they could tuck in, which is really good.
And also it just bothers other decks where like that one extra memory they actually needed. It's like punishing for someone playing like a 3 cost, but you're actually playing it for 4.
Exactly.
Because Bagra Army gained a memory.
Exactly.
So yeah, Belzemon, you're more of the fair deck up against Belzemon here, because Belzemon is teetering into tier 0 territory, I would say. But you do stand a chance up against Belzemon. You have a pretty good shot up against Belzemon, because Belzy loves to delete your small guys. So you could set up like a U setup once your U's are set up, or like the rookie blockers that the rookie dies, it tucks under you gain the memory off of that, and that you try to bother the Belzy X players play. It's still the same concept where you want to just bother your opponent as much as possible. But I would say the Quartzmon play is really effective too, but Belzy players do have a lot of ways to delete Quartzmon with their options, and especially with Belzy X evolving, if they have a 7 clusters under their trash.
I'll be honest though, it's really hard to do without passing turn, and passing turn just to remove something is a little bit difficult in Belzemon, because Quartzmon is level 7, so in order to delete anything, you need like for Deathslinger you need a minimum of 30 cards, which is insane, right? And Rival's Barrage already passes turn when you hard slam it. So I think if you're able to get to Quartzmon a lot quicker than they can trash, you're in a pretty good spot, especially if like the Impmons that are the little dinky Impmons are swinging and they're not, dying because they're hitting a tamer or something like that. I know they're only playing 8, but in the off chance that things that are supposed to swing and die survive, they're just suspended. You just don't touch them anymore, and they can't get the trash out of that.
Yeah, so like an early Quartzmon play definitely is your game plan up against a Belzy player. But Belzy is fast though, I would say. And let's say if your opponent actually has a line to go into Belzy X, you need to be mindful of that one. Like when you put a Quartzmon out, you need to make sure you have something smaller out also. So that when they evo into the Belzy X, potentially just delete the smaller guy, get tucked under you, and your Quartzmon is safe. And maybe also if others missed out earlier also, like Damemon could be tucked under Quartzmon also, so you have like a 15k blocker because it has saved in its text.
So Astamon, I think, can be a niche play there where, Astamon can play a level 4, right? So, you can control how many sources are under Asta, so you can play a level 4 and then maybe Digivolve into Quartzmon, like hard.
So you can't do both.
Oh, it's one or the other, right?
Yeah. the last text on Astamon is instead.
Yeah,
But
you're
sometimes you don't even have to go into the Quartzmon play with Astamon, I would say. So a little nice combo would be if you have Damemon under one of your tamers.
Yeah.
You could just go into the Astamon, have Damemon be played. Damemon searches top 3. Hopefully, play another tamer.
Sorry,
and
Lichi.
your engine is running.
No, what I'm trying to say though is Quartzmon can Digivolve for 9 from a level 5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so if you're anticipating the play, I know it's a lot of memory. It's like 9, but if you're anticipating the play where you don't want to get terror clustered, what you can do is like Astamon to bring out like a Gumdra or whatever, and then tuck a Dame under.
Oh.
Yeah. So you can trigger the level 4 play and then go into Quartzmon because you're probably not passing turn off the Astamon, right? With a combination of you and Taiki. And then, it's a ton of memory, obviously, but then now like Beelzemon will end up killing the other thing. And then if Quartzmon isn't dealt with, then it's just everything's just suspended, which sucks for them.
I didn't even think about that.
That's,
That's an amazing thing. That's why working with a great player like you, Josh.
Oh my gosh.
that just extended the plays for this deck.
There you go. We added a new play. All right. So go ahead with the last thing. Yeah.
Final matchup, Machine Dramon. Oh my god, Machine Dramon's like one of your worst matchups, honestly.
Shoot. Okay.
So Chaos Dramon X right now are taking in a lot of Mega Dramons. Mega Dramon, the pop a 3 cost.
Yeah, that's really
that
bad.
Includes a tamer.
Mm-hmm.
If they find that early, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
If they find that early, so like I said earlier, tamer removal is one of the weakness of the deck because you are so reliant on you, and secondly, when you do the Quartzmon play, it's amazing. It's like one answers for the deck. When you do a Quartzmon play, you suspend them and stop their plays.
Mm-hmm.
But they could also do a D-Digivolve on it.
Yes.
If they're holding on to the D-Digivolve.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's why I kept the Bagramon on the deck also. Mm-hmm. It's like one way to deal with a Machine Drum player. Let's say if they ever overextend with playing 2 Digimon out, you could Bagramon the big stack under a small Digimon, and hopefully have an answer for a Chaos Dramon.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of your worst maps. It would be like any tamer removal deck, Black War, and Chaos Dramon X. So
okay.
Yeah. But I haven't mentioned him. This guy, why I put this guy on the deck. Like one play would be catching them off guard. Also, like you could do this on up against any other deck. Like catching a Machine Dramon or a Black War player off guard, where they raise their level 5 too early, and they think you can't punish them. That's why I put in 2 Omni Shout Mons in the deck. Because Omni Shout does the when Digivolving, choose a number of your opponent's Digimon. That's up to 4k. But for every 2 cards in its source, add like 3 to the maximum deletion effect.
Yeah.
So if you actually just do the same thing what Astamon does, where it's a cross into a Force Cross.
Yeah.
A Bagra army level 4 that has like a bunch of inheritables under for free, then go into Omni Shout and pop their level 5 and answer them that way, and you have like a early momentum right there to not get punished too fast by taking out their level 5 early enough.
Yeah, and either of those Digimon can become a Quartzmon bridge very easily, so now you're also potentially threatening Quartzmon with the Omni Shout even, right?
I'm not sure if Quartzmon could evo into.
So it's for 9 with a level 5 with save in its traits.
Never mind then.
Yeah. So it's for any level 5. If it has save, it can do it. So in my rival hunters, I can do it over Chohakaimon, and then just stack my DP reduction when I swing. You know.
That's why I went to you, Josh.
Oh my god! Hey, you got the build. You came out with the build, bro. All right. So I guess, are we okay to conclude this, Lichi? I think we've gone really in depth. This is a very good video for players that, you know, are off the beaten path. Like, they don't really want to play the top 3 right now. They want to know what's going on with everything else. And I know for a fact there are a lot of players there looking for a good Darkness Bagramon deck. And I honestly think you guys have found it with this Lichi's build. So, anything else to close with, Lichi?
Thank you for having me, Joe Dobby, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, and not put the Darkness Bagramon in your binder. Make a deck out of it.
Don't use it as trade fodder.
Yeah, that was my plan in the first place.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like the video and you like, you know, just the overall rogue deck of the channel and all that, feel free to like and subscribe. And also, new to the channel, I'll be adding some Grand Archive stuff. So, thank you, Lichi, once again. Bye.